Good morning. Welcome to the public premium video forecast discussion for Friday, February 3rd, 2023. This week, the primary discussion is focused on the next 24 hours, which is primarily the concern about this very impressive Arctic air mass that, although brief, can be deadly. Now, currently, we have the Arctic cold front that is pushing off the coast. We have some areas of some snow flurries hanging around the coast. We had a brief snow squall. The expectation from last night was that the strongest feature of this snow squall would be over northwest New Jersey, the Poconos, and Catskills. And that's essentially what has happened, because as these snow squalls drop through northwest New Jersey, they downslope. And we already are dealing with dry air. And so you include the downsloping component here, and that causes a lot of drying of the snow line. We also see this in the summer with severe thunderstorms. So what happened is that as it dropped to the south, it basically just produced a few flurries, and that's about it. But we did get some snow accumulation, a dusting here and there over northwest New Jersey, parts of the Poconos and Catskills, and more significant snowfall, about an inch of snow, up towards the Finger Lakes, and then towards the eastern Great Lakes. There's going to be plenty of snow because of lake effect snow. Winds right now are coming from the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts at times up to 30 miles per hour. Now, this is the warmest we're going to be over the next 24 hours. In fact, we already had our high temperatures, where temperatures earlier this morning were in the mid-30s along the coast. We are now falling into the upper 20s to lower 30s over the coast and in your urban areas. In your northern suburbs, you're in the lower to mid-20s. In the higher elevations, we are falling through the teens, and up towards Binghamton, where our cold air is coming from, it's already 5 degrees. And guess what? Those temperatures are not going anywhere the rest of the day. When you take a look at the 850 millibar map, what this is this very strong cold air transport. I'll give you a little lesson. When you start to see your winds align with the thermal gradient here, and you can kind of create these rectangles, these boxes, that's a very strong sign of very strong cold air transport, okay? So the tighter the boxes here, or rectangles, the stronger the cold air transport. And as you can see, we sure do have a lot of rectangles marching their way from the eastern Great Lakes into the northern Mid-Atlantic. Now, the heart of this Arctic air, which is up here, is going to be rotating through Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. So we're not going to get the brunt, the true brunt, where we're talking about temperatures for highs below zero. But we're still going to be dealing with some pretty dangerous cold air coming on in, which we'll show in the model guidance in just a moment. Our 500 millibar pattern right now, as you can see with the winds evolving here, you have a nice impressive trough and a nice impressive upper level low. This is our tropospheric polar vortex right here. And this is the subtropical jet stream. I bring this up just because I reminisce of what could have been, which is with this Arctic air coming in and this active subtropical jet stream. If timing was just right, well, you know. But it didn't set up that way. So what you end up with on our surface map and radar from WeatherTap is plenty of precipitation moving through the Carolinas and our Arctic air mass invading from the north. And at least for the northern Mid-Atlantic, neither of the two shall meet as the Arctic air suppresses its moisture and heads it out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now you see this feature right here. Let me zoom in on this here for a second. These little areas coming in from this trough and lake enhancement will produce the potential for a few snow showers and flurries, especially over the Poconos and Catskills. Use some caution, as when you have this type of cold air and this type of instability, which we can see very nicely here with our T chart here, this is very much of very similar to what you would see a convective signature in the summer, of course, with temperatures well below zero, as you can see, well below freezing, should I say. What this means is that when you have this type of sounding and you see this type of signature here on the radar, it could produce some very brief convective snowfall. So if you're in the Poconos or Catskills, use some caution, as a few of these snow showers could rapidly drop visibility for a short period of time and then give way. So much like a thunder shower, except you're dealing with snow. That could lead to some rapid short-term accumulation and create slick roadways. So just use some caution. And some of those flurries and snow showers could actually make it down to the coastal plain. Another factor we're going to be keeping an eye on is with all this cold air coming in, I'd keep an eye on portions of eastern Long Island, right around here. You have winds coming in from the northwest. It has a little bit more of an enhanced fetch coming off the Long Island Sound. We could see some snow showers pop in here and there between this afternoon on through tomorrow morning. After tomorrow morning, the winds start to shift at all levels of the atmosphere, and you lose that potential. But from this afternoon through tomorrow morning, I would be keeping an eye on the potential of some snow showers popping in. Same thing around Cape May. If you get just enough of a perfect fetch, you could end up with a few snow showers and a bit of a surprise for you this evening. So again, something we're going to be keeping an eye on. On the water vapor satellite picture, you can see our pattern evolving here and what could have been with our very impressive subtropical jet stream. Very unusual for La Nina, by the way, as I've been saying all year. Moisture-packed system that's just missing us by just a little bit. So let's talk about this Arctic air. Right now, this is the forecast for 7 a.m., which pretty much verified pretty nicely. As we go forward, temperatures has fallen here on out. We've had our high temperatures, that's it. The rest of the day, temperatures get colder and colder. And by the time we get to this afternoon, as you're heading home, well, it's only going to get worse with temperatures falling into the single digits over the Poconos and Catskills, the teens in New York City, the 20s in the Philadelphia metro. Southern New Jersey, you are the warm spot at 4 p.m. with temperatures around 27 to 29 degrees. So there's your warm spot. Problem with that is that when we take a look at the wind chills during that same time period, well, they don't get much better. By 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're talking about wind chills in the single digits and teens over the New York City metro, lower to mid-teens in the Philadelphia metro and southern New Jersey, below zero for the northern interior. All of these conditions, if you are not properly layered and protected, can lead to frostbite in a very short period of time. Use some caution. And by the way, it only gets worse. Tonight into tomorrow morning, many locations will have wind chills below zero, possibly falling as low as minus 30 degrees in a few locations. This is around midnight. I know some people like to go out around midnight and whatnot. I would not suggest doing so tonight because no matter how good your fast food run is, this Arctic air will make you pay for it. You're talking about temperatures minus 26 degrees as a wind chill in the Poconos, in the Catskills. You're talking about minus 9, 10, 12 degrees in the New York City metro. And you know how strong those winds can get between those buildings. In the Philadelphia metro, single digits below zero. Your warm spot is down in Cape May, New Jersey, where you're 5 degrees. And if you have any friends and family up towards Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, how about minus 60? Yeah. So this is why it's so dangerous. That could lead to some really dangerous conditions. And I would suggest tomorrow morning, I know a lot of people have their routines. I know I do. I like to go out and go to the gym and whatnot. Guess what? I'm skipping the gym this weekend, at least for Saturday, because I'm not going to take the risk, and I hope you don't take the risk of going out in these conditions if you don't have to. You're talking about temperatures in the teens below zero, in the single digits and around Philadelphia. Again, very dangerous. Now, the good news is that this Arctic air is quick to leave. And you can see why, as our Arctic air swings through, the bulk of it is going to be focused over New England, and it exits very quickly by the time we get to Saturday afternoon. That the bulk of the Arctic air, the core of it, is already lifting into the Canadian Maritimes, and this is a strong signal of what we call warm air transport. So by Saturday afternoon, we start to improve, we start to see our temperatures rebound, and that warm air transport continues all the way on into Sunday with temperatures at all levels of the atmosphere rising above freezing. Does this mean precipitation? Nope, not in this case. In this case, we have very dry air in place from the Arctic air. Again, watch out for your snow flurries and whatnot. But then after that, as the upper level trough exits, what we have is called rising 500 millibar heights. And when you rise 500 millibar heights, what typically happens, unless you have a strong moisture transport coming in from the Gulf Coast or something, you have what's called sinking air, subsidence. And so what happens is that you dry out the atmosphere. Combine that with the fact that you really don't have any type of strong shortwave approaching. It's very disorganized. There really isn't much in the way of moisture transport. So pretty much you end up with a dry, warm air transport, some increase in cloud cover, but that is about it. No precipitations expected through this weekend outside of those snow showers and flurries that we were talking about. And we have a very progressive, active pattern that really doesn't produce much in the way of precipitation through the weekend into early part of next week. Now, next week, we're going to be watching a series of shortwaves, but as I've been discussing, the evolution of these shortwaves are such that not really conducive for any type of major winter storm effect. In this scenario, for the end of next week, we have a upper level low in the subtropical jet stream that's going to be lifting up towards the Great Lakes. And of course, that means a lot of warm air. And as you can see, pretty much rainfall. And beyond that point, we'll continue to watch these shortwaves evolve. The model guidance for the 7 to 10 day period constantly is trying to show the potential for winter storms. And I constantly see teases, but also the reason why I wouldn't trust any type of frozen precipitation solution. And that is, whenever you have this feature out here, you gotta question it. And so when I see this showing up here, my first inclination is to say, this is here, this is going to be out here. This is not going to be able to march up the coast. So that is pretty much what I'm seeing here with these short waves. And so, yeah, you might have cold air transport behind this low pressure system, but you probably also have a lot of dry air, and your strongest lifting all focused out towards the Gulf Stream and not much on the coastal plain. So we'll be keeping an eye on it, but right now I'm not really impressed with anything I'm seeing. So let's dive into the rest of this forecast. For today, Arctic air invades. Temperatures are free falling. Watch out for some snow showers or random snow squall, especially over the higher elevations, and very dangerous Arctic air. Tomorrow morning, that Arctic air continues to be in place. Use caution. We already discussed the low temperatures, brutally cold, temperatures below zero over the interior, right around zero along the coast, and the wind chills, as you know, are below zero. Very dangerous. Do not go outside if you don't have to. High pressure passes over the region on Saturday. The winds subside, conditions improve, temperatures begin to rebound. Look for high temperatures tomorrow afternoon, really tomorrow evening, in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. Temperatures will continue to rise through Sunday, with sky cloud cover expected and winds shifting out of the southwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures will continue to rise through the 20s and peak into the lower to mid 40s over the interior and mid to upper 40s along the coast. With that being the case, a lot of those 40-degree temperatures are going to be later in the afternoon and evening hours and basically level off. On Monday, we have a weak trough that's passing through the region. Better than that, sky cloud cover is expected. Look for low temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast, mid to upper 30s over the interior for highs, and lower to mid 40s in the suburbs and mid to upper 40s along the coast for highs on Monday. On Tuesday, a cold front will approach with scattered cloud cover, becoming more overcast towards the evening. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 20s. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 40s. On Wednesday, a weak cold front will pass through with a few isolated to widely scattered showers. Other than that, sky cloud cover is expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 40s over the interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast. On Thursday, we have an area low pressure that's approaching the region. with periods of showers expected with a warm front. Look for low temperatures to range from the upper 30s to lower 40s. High temperatures will range from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast. And now we get to Friday, trying to jump ahead with these weeks. Look for periods of showers, possibly heavy at times. We'll have to see how this low pressure system evolves, with low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s along the coast. High temperatures, very mild, mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast. And then as you can see, our pattern continue to evolve. When I see this type of signature showing up here, it makes me very suspicious that this is, well, fool's gold, okay? So we'll keep an eye to see if this evolves. When you see a lot of this bagginess, it means that the model guidance is having a difficult time with all these short waves. And it doesn't matter what model you pick, it's pretty much struggling with all these changes happening in the atmosphere. You're having the polar vortex return back up towards the Arctic. You have a waning La Nina. You have a lot of mixed signals and tropical forcing. And so you end up with a lot of mixed signals in your guidance. So if you see anyone getting excited with any type of guidance 7 to 10 days out, whether that's being the polar vortex or the pattern overall, use some caution because there's a lot going on here. But one thing I'm not seeing is much sustained blocking in the northern Atlantic, which is something you need in order to really pull off, especially in this type of pattern, any type of significant winter weather. I do see a lot of indications for mild weather. Just putting it out there. That is your forecast discussion for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe. Please stay indoors if you can. If you do have to go out, please layer, t-shirt, sweater shirt, another shirt, then your jacket, hat, gloves, cover everything, and be safe. And have a wonderful weekend out there.